I did have a request for a stone video. I'm just going to show you some of the basics of holding the stone and how to get a good hand off of it. This particular stone has, it's about 11 pounds, has a more of a round side and a bit of a flat side. That's the difference you'll find with a shot put. Shot put is perfectly round and it's uniform size, uniform shape. Stones are not, so we have to figure out the good place to put the hand. On this particular stone, I like having most of my hand resting on the stone, and then there's this flat side here I'm going to place up against my neck. I know it's a good spot because I can push into the neck and get a nice high elbow. Sometimes with bigger stones, awkward stones, you have to support a little bit lower with the elbow, but for a smaller stone, I can push the elbow up high enough that I can push into the neck, keep the elbow up high, but I'm going to really try to lock in that shoulder blade so I can activate a little bit more on my lats and take a little bit of pressure off the shoulder. So in the setup for your power position, your Braemar throw, I'm going to offset my feet, so as a right-handed thrower, my right foot's going to be a little bit ahead of my left. I'm going to take a step out, a little wider than my hips. I'm going to have a little soft bend in my knees, a little shift over to this back leg, and then I'm going to flip the whole system over. So you'll notice that I have almost all my body weight on this right side, and I can double check that by tapping my left toe without shifting. If I'm somewhat in the middle, I'm pretty stable, but if I have to shift to move over to that back leg, I know I didn't have enough body weight there. So key is I can stay over this right side as long as possible. So I'm going to still load up the stone, push hard into the neck, pull the shoulder blade back, and come on over to my power position. So you'll notice that as I start to bow forward, it's really easy for the elbow to drop down because gravity's starting to take over. So really crank on that shoulder blade, making sure you're locked all in. Now everything's going to start from the ground up. My right toe, my right knee, my right hip, and then finally my upper body. And so the next part about the power position throw is actually your torso angle and how much bend you have in your knees and your hips. So as you turn back around and you're heavy on this right side, a lot of people will shift and extend. All this momentum is starting to move forward. You want to do your best to stay back on that right side as long as possible. And you're going to begin to rotate lower body into upper body, still stand on heavy on this right side. So as you come up to the top of your extension, right leg's coming through, left leg's actually blocking back into this tall position upon release. Now that would give you a point to either be a non-reverse thrower or have a little bit more momentum coming through and you'll have to do some type of reverse recovery. So once you have your stance, you're set up, next comes the angle of release. I like to teach wrist in front of elbow. You're always going to push out away, wrist in front of elbow. It's really easy to let the elbow drop and it turns into a bit of a shoulder press, everything out in front. There's a lot of pressure on the shoulder and it doesn't really give you a good finger flick. So if you can keep the thumb down towards the ground, push the wrist in front of elbow, you'll have a much better release on the stone. So as a recap, find a good hand on your stone. You want to make sure you have enough surface area of the hand on there, not so much that's all in the palm. You do want to have a little bit of wiggle room to get the fingertips to get a good flick away. You're going to press up against the neck for a high elbow. You're going to pull the shoulder blade back to lock it in. You're going to get in your stance and hang out heavy on this back leg. You're going to start to turn right toe, right knee, right hip, and strike the arm out and away. Wrist leading in front of the elbow, thumb down, fingertips away.